Hello, hello, Mystic GLoLady here. It has been too long since I have done any divination readings. It's been a year and a half that I have taken a hiatus in order to finish my civil rights lawsuit that's now in the Supreme Court, and I've also started going back and seeking higher education. So I've been up to a whole lot of things, and I hope that you have been creating as well. My Patreon GLoLady site is up and almost ready to run. I have my inspirational wallet size photos for download, and also my healthy hippie hemp oil blends and other essential oil blends, as well as tools of the trade. There's lots of different support levels, so I hope to see you on my site, GLoLady, on Patreon. I'll put a link below. And now, on to your readings. Hello, Taurus. This is your tarot divination for June 2017. And yes, those are my precious puppies that you do hear in the background. I am sorry about their interruptions. And those of you who had followed me for a while know my precious Bella May does like attention. And I now have two more. I have Carmela and I have Studley. That is Princess Carmela and also King Studley. So he is going to be the daddy when he is old enough. So one of these days I'll show you what they look like. All right, so shuffling a little bit more before we started out in the first house, and we're going to continue in using the astrological format and starting it out with the first house. And you have the Queen of Pentacles in your first house, Taurus. Woohoo! With Venus and Mercury in there at the beginning of the month. Well, Mercury is in there at the beginning and goes into the second house on the 7th, but Venus comes in on the 7th and is in there all month. So be good to you, Taurus. I mean, you are looking good, you are feeling good, and that is fantastic. You want to keep that feeling all month long. Now, in your second house, the second house of finances and possessions, you have the Tower. So what is changing in your finances and your possessions? Now, with the new moon on the 23rd, does that mean that there are new beginnings with those finances? Is that in how you are acquiring them? Mars in there at the beginning, does that mean that you're working on new ways to acquire finances? Or does it just mean that you are actually going to change the way that you start keeping track of your finances? In your third house, you have the Princess of Cups. Communications, short distance travels, things are really flowing well for you. Open your mouth, say what you mean what you say, don't say it mean, especially if it's dealing with your finances. Okay? Now, in the fourth house, you have the Ten of Swords, the rune. What things do you need to fix in your home? What on the home front is needing fixed? And as I say this, and I'm sure that there are some of you who will have been touched by the floods and the other earth changes that are going on that we see and will increase all around us. So those of you who have lost or will lose your home in June, my thoughts, hopes, and prayers go out to you, because it is a horrible feeling when the home is no more when it's taken in a flash second. And then we have to come and understand that home is where the heart is, and it's not so much a material possession that that defines us. Okay? So the home, even if it might be changing or taken, it's not the end of everything. And is that tower in the second house connected to the fourth house? Is it trying to save the home and not coming up with money? Are you looking at it in the correct manner? Now, in the fifth house, you have the Ten of Pentacles. The fifth house is fun, creativity, sex, children, going out, having a good time. Woohoo! Is that where money is being spent where it should not be? Okay, so if you are having problems with the finances and the home, okay, could it be that you're having too much fun? And there again, some of you might be deciding to change things and sell the home and use that money to go out and go on a cruise or do something that you've always wanted to do. I myself live in a motorhome, and I like to travel and come and go as I please. So a large home isn't really, I consider moving on in found foundation, but I, like I say, enjoy being able to come and go as I please. So if you're looking at and losing, well, why don't you sell what you can prior and get that motorhome? Get that motorhome and travel. Or get that motorhome and park it in a campground, because it's a whole lot cheaper in a motorhome, if finances are an issue, than all the money that is spent on another. So don't look at things that change as bad. At least, if you see things as bad, then change your mindset and start looking for what you're grateful in the situation, what you are grateful for in the situation. Okay, now in your sixth house of health, service, daily routine, you have the Seven of Wands, the Valor, the Workin. It looks, at least for this month, that work is good. That now, as I said, well, in the astrology, Jupiter is retrograde until the 10th, where if you're having problems and it's with the bank, talk to them, because now is a very good time in which to talk money. All right. So refinance if you really want to keep it, because work is looking like you're going to have some work. Now, in your seventh house of relationships and partnerships, you have the Two of Wands. Is there a holdup? Is there a holdup in partnerships? Relationships? Is that why you feel? And there again, we're going to come back into this is a general reading. So it's hard to say that every single Taurus that this is going to play out for them. Some, if it's like I don't quite understand, then look at your rising sign and also your moon sign and see where this information is playing out in your life. You have to look at it symbolically in order to understand. So, don't take it literally, as in this is exactly what will happen, but look at the symbols of what I'm saying. What kind of work What kind of communications do you need to do in your partnerships in order to make them better, so that if you do not want things to end in the home or relationship, then what things can be done that you can do in order to change? And that is the big part. And when we look at and it's like, do I want to or need to change in order to make someone else happy? It's the same as you trying to change someone else. Okay, you can only make yourself happy. And if a person wants you to change in a form or fashion that does not make you happy, um, what kind of karmic lesson do you want? How much pain do you want? Okay, sometimes things are better left to go and to separate, so you do not have to carry and live a life of pain and sorrow. In your ninth house, you have the death card, the end of, the new beginnings. What new beginnings are you making? Is that one of those where, okay, I'm finished living in the way that I have and I'm going to change? And is that the house that you're going to sell to take all that money and go on that trip? You want to go on or do all those things on your bucket list. Okay? Is that you have been spending too much time at home and now it's time to get out of and go and explore? There's things that are ending in those in the ninth house, and it's like, are those the long distance travel plans that you have put on hold, that you've put on hold permanently? You know, that could be a possibility also. And if it's saying that and you really wanted to go, that does not mean that you cannot still go through the internet, through YouTube videos, through books, through higher education. What? You never thought that you would want to go back to school? Well, why don't you check out your local community colleges and look at the adult education classes that they have? You know, that would be a change, right? In your 10th house, in your career house, you have the Emperor, the firm foundation in your career, and you love people. So if the personal is affecting the outside, at least with your work, you can take a I can't really say domineering, although it could be. And there again, could that be the person that you're having problems with, the domineering person? Okay, and you know that you don't want to be dominated. So is that why there is a little bit of friction in your partnership? And how firm ground are you standing in your demands? Um, it's when dealing with relationships, I say write down what you like and don't like. Both of you write down what you don't like, and then allow each person to express it. And you will find out a whole lot about the little incros, inc, yeah, incrosist. See, I can't even pronounce it. Incrosticities. Other people's little quirks that might bother you. Okay, you might chew gum in a form or fashion that really irritates the other person, but the other person is being nice and not saying anything. Now, you can always say, are you doing that purposely to aggravate me because you know what aggravates me? Or, maybe the person doesn't even realize that they're doing it. So, in your 11th house, you have the star, the wish card. Your friends, your associates, your hopes, your wishes. You have Chiron there and also Neptune with the illusions and delusions. All right? Wish, make that wish upon a star. Makes no difference who you are as long as you believe. So hopes and wishes, you have the star card there. So what are your hopes and wishes? In the 12th house, the 12th house of hidden secrets, you have the 8 of Pentacles, the prudence, the holding on to, and it is right next to that death card. Now, when we're going back and talking about this, and um, whether you are or whether you are experiencing, okay? And I'm hearing legal. So something associated with the home. And as I said, this will not pertain to everybody, but symbolically, all right? There are some of you who are going through, and it's that foreclosure on the home, and hopefully trying to get money out of it, or the person who harmed you would be punished. And you're going to have to be the one to push the issue, because if you don't push the issue, then that person just might not get their just rewards. All right. So if you know that things are wrong, do not stop trying to fix them. All right. Work upon that in order to fix it. There again, I mean, this is like contradicting each other, and it depends, as I say, on which Taurus is going through with the home, okay? Which Taurus has been harmed and which has harmed, okay? Because there's good and there's bad in everyone. Not every Taurus is good, not every Taurus is bad. You have a yin and a yang. So what I'm saying about with the home, I do feel that something on the home front is going to be changing on a lot of the masses. It could just be that renovation of, all right? And those of you who have had someone harm them, then use the strength of your friends who are supporting you and take it to the legal system. But, you know, when you're going through the legal system, you have to consider your time and energy and resources that you have in order to pursue it. Is it feasible? Okay. How much time and energy do you want to put into it? Can you find an attorney who is willing to do it for a certain price? Because I do know why lawyers charge so much money, because it is intense. It is intense, the research that has to go into a lawsuit. And when you're looking at and you want them to be held accountable, is it going to cost more than you will reap in the end? If you're looking at that lawsuit and the person's bankrupt, well, what good is that going to do you if you're not going to get a financial gain out of it? So you're going to have to definitely look at the whole situation and see where that balance is. Because you're going to need to find that balance. You have a lot of things going for you this month, all right? So don't let someone else tip you off the scales, okay? look at it. And as I always say, out of bad comes good. It all depends on from what point of view you're looking at it. And the faster you find that good, the happier you will be. So Aries, or I'm sorry, Taurus, Taurus, sorry Taurus, have a great June, and I'll see you in July. See you, love you, bye.